Good morning, Paul Rieger, 15808 Bachelor's Lane, Georgetown. Basically, just to touch on from the last meeting that I was here concerning the appointments for planning and zoning and the Board of Adjustment. When you're going back between 6803, which is the state code, chapter 9, and then come back to the county council procedures for appointments, it seems like there's just a little bit of confusion. But when it comes up for today with the Board of Adjustment one, as Mr. Hudson had left open for District 4, for it, is it says on the agenda that it's a reappointment. But according to the state code in 6803, it's saying that it's not a reappointment. It would be filling a vacancy in the state code. So I don't know whether that comes into play or not, whether it supersedes it or not. Because when a vacancy, this is off of 6803 from the state code. When any vacancy occurs in the commission, either by death, resignation, expiration of term, office removal, or otherwise, any person so appointed, the vacancy shall be filled for the unexpired term. So they're calling it a vacancy there. And then coming back into it, is it a vacancy after July 1st, June 30th? We've had this discussion in the past over it. So I don't know whether it's a vacancy. I heard this morning on the radio, Mr. Schaefer, I believe, was on one of the stations, and he didn't call it a vacancy. Yet Mr. Riley called the PandZ zoning one a vacancy. Mr. Hudson, you have your appointment coming up. How would you have felt if another representative had put up an appointment?
Sir, you're addressing council,
okay.
Not Mr. Hudson.
How would the council like to have another appointment come in on their voters to replace against their appointed representative? When it comes to the voting, it just seems the thing that I have an issue with, and everybody knows here, I don't know either one of the persons that was either recommended in the beginning, that Mr. Mitchell, or the person who was appointed to the PandZ at the last thing. I don't know either one of them, so it is nothing about favoring either one. This is strictly the way the appointments go. So when it still comes down to it, it should be done with the council member to let the voters come in. It just is not making sense why the Board of Adjustment and the planning and zoning is not done to represent the voters. It just should be standing. Also, too, is I keep hearing, yes, they're doing a pleasure to serve the county, but can somebody please tell me, if the last time that I remember a few years ago, I was here when Mr. Kramer was here, I believe Board of Adjustment and Planning and Zoning, each one of their meetings are paid, I believe, they were paid like $250 per meeting. So it's not a voluntary service. They are being paid. When you have this appointment, can you ask what they're being paid? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Operator, would you check online, please?
Mr. President, thank you, Ms. Carter, for being here and for that information. Appreciate it. Council, if you'd like a copy of that presentation, we'd be happy to forward it to you for your information as well. Okay, moving down the agenda, item 1, reappointment of Board of Adjustment member John Williamson. We do have a reappointment required for District 4, and it is my understanding that Mr. Hudson would like to reappoint Mr. Williamson for that position.
That is correct. He does a great job and works very hard at it, and is very, very good at what he does.
I have a motion for your consideration.
Please read your motion.
Be it moved that Sussex County Council approves the reappointment of John Williamson to the Sussex County Board of Adjustment effective immediately until such time as the term expires in June of 2026.
Pleasure, council.
Is there a chance for comments?
Pleasure, council.
Move for adoption.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, Mr. Green?
So we had some testimony and some comments here earlier this morning in reference to these reappointments, not only this one, but where the planning and zoning in my district was basically hijacked. So on July 18th, Councilman Riley testified that there was a vacancy at planning and zoning and that vote needed to happen that morning. We've had since then has come to light that this has also been not reappointed. So there doesn't seem to be consistency on all these reappointments. So this is now August the 15th, and we're just now voting today. So if there was not a vacancy then, there's not a vacancy now. So I think that when we make statements and make testimony, that it needs to be consistent. So I do not believe that on July 18th that my appointment was considered a vacancy. And I think that's worth clarifying, plus this should have happened all at the same time. These reappointments should happen all at the same time, and that didn't happen, so.
Mr. President?
Anything else? You good? You're okay? You're done? Okay. Yes, Mr. Hudson.
This is a mistake on my part completely. I accept full responsibility for it. It was an oversight on my part, and Mr. Lawson reminded me of it a few times, and I forgot. And that's exactly what happened.
Can I say something?
Mr. Riley.
I want to say that I object to the terminology that I hijacked somebody else's appointment. The rules clearly state that if a member has an opening and they want to make an appointment, they have the representative from that district has the first opportunity to present a nominee. If that nominee is unsuccessful, then any member of the council can make a nomination. That's how it went. I didn't hijack anything. We followed the rules, and the person that was nominated by the representative from District 2 was unsuccessful, and so I made a nomination, and that person was successful. So I object to the terminology being cast in a negative light like that.
Okay. Anything else?
Comment? Follow on.
Agreed.
So for the record, this is the very first time that another council member has ever nominated a candidate for another council district.
That's incorrect.
No,
That's incorrect.
there's been other members not voted.
That's
like a
been
nominee.
incorrect.
Okay.
That's incorrect.
Can we clarify where that has happened?
Not right now,
So
we're not
I've
going to,
asked.
sure. Well,
I have
you asked
asked.
the wrong people then.
Okay. Who was the right person to ask?
I'll get it back to you who it was.
Okay.
I was on council, we turned down another candidate presented by that council person.
Okay.
And someone else nominated somebody else, they got approved.
Okay, because
That's fact.
I've asked former council members and no one has been
That's
able to.
fact.
Then I stand corrected. and I-
I'll get you back whenever day I go to you, what the
Okay.
date was.
Yeah. I
Anything
understand
else?
that.
We'll take the vote. Mr. Hudson.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Schaefer. Yes. Mrs. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Riley.
Yes.
I vote yes, motion carried. Next.